Before you created this beautiful Church of Light, before you were even an architect, you had another profession, you were a boxer. Tell us about your life before you put pen to paper.
Every time I go abroad, people always ask me if I'm really self-taught in architecture. It is true that I've not received any special education in my field. I visited Kyoto, Osaka, Nagoya to see architecture there, and I visited Europe as well to study architecture by myself. I read a lot and I learned a lot because I was motivated to study architecture, and eventually I got my license. I was also a boxer, as you said, but that was because there was a boxing gym near my home, so I gave that a try. What I learned from boxing was that no one would help me during a fight. In architecture, nobody helps me to think. But when it comes to the actual building process, I work with lots of people in cooperation. I learned how to work both ways.
Tadao Ando is a Japanese self-taught architect and artist born in Osaka in 1941. He took night classes and interior design courses to learn architecture. He worked as an assistant carpenter, a truck driver, a professional boxer, and finally as an architect. What sparked his passion for architecture was from looking at a book consisting of Le Corbusier's drawing. From 1962 to 1969, Tadao Ando started traveling to the United States, Europe, and Africa for inspiration. He finally began to start his own firm called the Tadao Ando Architectural and Associates at 1969. His architecture style mostly comprises of simple materials that allow the viewer to focus on the feeling and mood created by the architect rather than distracting colors, materials, shapes, etc. This architecture is done for the subconscious mind and in many ways a more powerful way of designing buildings. As a self-taught architect, he keeps his Japanese culture and language in mind while he travels around Europe for research. As an architect, he believes that architecture can change society, that to change the dwelling is to change the city and therefore reform society. Tadao Ando's approach to architecture and landscape was categorized under critical regionalism. The concept of regionalism mainly focuses on the relationship of a building to its site and location in a sociological context, whereas the international style emphasizes more on architectural style, form, and aesthetics. Ando's vision is to create an environment or space that allows the visitor to be lost in, just like a captivating book, movie, or a painting. And surprisingly, his techniques of achieving this effect are counterintuitive, meaning it goes against the standard architectural norms. Ando's architecture is mostly constructed with concrete, providing a sense of cleanliness and weightlessness at the same time. Due to the simplicity of the exterior, construction and organization of the space are relatively potential in order to represent the aesthetic of sensation. Next, I will be talking about the space in the Church of Light. It is mainly defined by the strong contrast between light and solid. The Church of Light has sunlight entering from behind the altar, from a cross-cut in the concrete wall that extends vertically from floor to ceiling and horizontally from wall to wall, aligning perfectly with the joints in the concrete. He emphasizes on the idea of emptiness, meaning something different which transfers someone into the spiritual realm. In his design project, light is an important controlling factor. As quoted from Tadao Ando, light is the origin of all being. Striking the surface of things, light grants them an outline. Gathering shadows behind things, it gives them depth. Things are articulated around borders of light and darkness and obtain their individual form, discovering interrelationships and become inwardly linked. As shown in the picture, the Church of Light emphasizes on the cross symbol on the wall, and during certain time period of the day, the sun falls in the middle of the Christian cross. The Casino House, on the other hand, holds similar contrasting elements including natural lightings and similarly interesting skylight location. Placed to the north of the existing structures, the new cave-like space rests within the upward sloping piece of land. The study features a bow curve in contradiction to the rectilinear organization, initiating a completely new rhythm.